Hi guys, and welcome back to another video for Phantasy Star Online Blueburst. So today's video, we're just going to continue the PSO side stories series. So the last episode we did Native Research, Forest of Sorrow and Grand Squall. So we're just going to continue from there and just try and find out a little bit more about the events that are going on Pioneer and on Ragol as the main story is progressing as well. So the next one that we've got is one called Addicting Food. So it's from someone called Trekker, and it just says, I want to eat something sweet. So a drastic change in tone from the last episode where we had quite a few serious quests. We seem to be back on the jokey ones now. I'm Trekker. I'm really embarrassed about this story, but listen to me. Pioneer 2 doesn't really restrict us on food consumption, but certain types of food are restricted, especially sweets. But I love sweets. I was looking forward to landing on Ragol because it meant eating sweets. But the landing was postponed, and I really need my sweets. Perhaps you hunters can go to Pioneer 1 to get some sweets. I love that, we know about the horrors that have happened to Pioneer 1. We know that, most people are probably dead on the surface or missing. And all she's thinking about is basically looting Pioneer 1 to get sweets. Sorry that this sounds like a stupid request, but I am quite serious. I want to eat something sweet. Very sweet. I don't know what to do. My quest is to find 3 sisters, but there aren't any clues. I went everywhere on Pioneer 2. So if you played pretty much any other Phantasy Star game, you probably already know what we're looking for. I'm helping to find the 3 lost sisters. They were bakers with their own high standards for baking. I don't understand why they'd leave the ship. Yes, I know who those sisters are. They were looking for the perfect baking environment. They were professionals, so their bread was very delicious. I loved it. What? You're doing some other quest? So it's clear everyone on Pioneer 2 is talking about these sisters and how they're trying to find these lost sisters. Now at this point, it should be kind of putting 2 and 2 together that, we need to find sweets. There are also these missing bakers. Interesting that they're talking about wanting to find the weapons from Pioneer 1 because Pioneer 2 is not very well equipped. So this is the first quest that takes place in caves. And this, if you're playing PSO offline in particular, and you want any drops from caves, this is one of the best quests for doing it, because essentially what this quest is you more or less do a full run of caves minus the boss. And it's multiplayer enemy counts. So you fight a lot more enemies than normal. So if you're hunting anything in caves and you are playing offline only, this is a really good quest for doing it. Again, I'm playing this on very hard just because I've already completed some of these quests on Ultimate, and I think very hard is the only difficulty where I haven't cleared everything, so... Now, from a lore standpoint, as you may expect, there isn't a whole lot to go on here. We are literally trying to find something sweet for Trekker. We also know there's these missing sisters. Now, the reason I mentioned the other Phantasy Star games earlier is because there are recurring characters that appear in a lot of the Phantasy Star games called the Nora sisters, or Nola, depending on how you translate it. And they are usually some kind of bakers or connected to food in some way, whether they have a cafe or a cake shop or anything. They're in most of the Phantasy Star games, and as you may be unsurprised to hear, this is the quest in PSO where you find them. So the entire purpose of this quest basically is to find these lost cake sisters. Because obviously by finding those, we've got a chance of getting something sweet for Trekker. So now, I know from doing this quest that this is a very, very long quest. It does go through all of Cave 1, all of Cave 2, and a bit of Cave 3 as well. So what I'm probably going to do is I'll just sort of cut to any important parts during the quest. Which might even be just when we get to the Cake Sisters, because there really isn't much to go on at all in this. So one thing I did want to point out as I'm running through this area is you can see why the sisters have decided to come here. Because obviously the geothermal vents and everything that Pioneer 1 were doing, the general heat and humidity down here is pretty ideal for baking, so you can kind of see why they would come here. Yeah, this is a recurring feature in most of the Phantasy Star games, that there's nearly always a cake shop somewhere. Okay, so fast forward to Cave 3. So you basically go all the way through Cave 1, all the way through Cave 2, and now we're finally getting to Cave 3. So this is a very long quest in comparison to everything you've done so far. A faint sweet smell. So this is your first indication that you're going the right way. Obviously we're looking for sweets anywhere, but we've had all these NPCs telling us about these bakers or the cake sisters, so we assume that we're probably going the right way now. Now once you get to this part of Cave 3, it's actually not very far into Cave 3 you have to go, but it is still quite a long quest overall. You want to go south here. When you go south you'll run into this, which is, quite obviously this is the Cake Sisters. To tell the truth, we aren't really bakers. We're the Cake Sisters. What do you think of the heat and humidity here? It's perfect. Pioneer 2 didn't allow us to make cakes, so we came down here. So that's the entire reason they escaped from Pioneer 2, because as Trekker said at the start, things like sweets are prohibited on Pioneer 2, so they decided to go down to Ragdoll to make them instead. Hey, want to try one? What? Monsters? Our enthusiasm for cakes is the strongest in the whole universe. Are you surprised to find a cake shop in a location such as this? Welcome to Nara Cake Shop. Which would you like to purchase? And I like how I get 3 options of just cake, cake, or cake. I'll take a cake. Thank you. Got a cake. So for this you actually go into your quest board, and it appears that. A very sweet and tasty treat. Sorry, I already gave one to you. I can't give you more than one. She's like, you greedy. So we have successfully acquired cake. So now we can go back to Pioneer 2. The music at the minute, we are recording this just before Christmas during the PSO Christmas event. Hence all of the decorations on Pioneer 2. This will probably throw everyone off who's listening to it at a different time, but... Have you found the 3 sisters? Oh, sorry. I thought you were doing that quest. Personally, I think they did a fine job baking on Pioneer 2. Humans are difficult to understand. They are. What? You saw 3 girls on Ragol? Really? All my efforts were in vain. This always made me laugh because his efforts in vain, all he did was look around Pioneer 2. He made no attempt to go to the surface. I know who she is. She's famous for starting Sweet Mania. She's in such great shape now, but she used to be... Oops. I must stop here to uphold her honour. Oh, That's... I learned about this in history class. It's a cake, isn't it? Please, give it to me. Past cake. I like the subtle implication there that she's only ever heard of a cake through her classes. I guess because Pioneer 2 has been in orbit for so long. You know, bear in mind that it's taken 7 years to get to Ragol. She probably doesn't know anything other than what's on Pioneer 2. Thanks. You can get your Mazetta at the Hunters Guild. I know I'll gain weight again if I eat too many sweets. Sweet food is really addicting. Yeah, that's how they get you. So that is addicting food. So from a law standpoint, not a lot to go on. We just know that sweets are prohibited on Pioneer 2. And that's about it. But it is the way of PSO introducing you to a recurring NPC that appears in a lot of the games, so I do respect it for that. So with that, on to the next quest. Okay, so with addicting food clear, we can move on to the next one. And our next one is The Lost Bride, which, funnily enough, kind of relates to the previous quest. Sort of. So this is a client called Cecil, who's a force, and is, I'm too fat to go back to my fiancé. Please help me diet. So having just got cakes for someone, we're now helping someone diet. So a bit of a food theme going on with this episode. Nice to meet you. I'm Cecil. Guess what? I'm getting married. But I know I'm out of shape, but if I'm staying on Ragol to exercise and get in shape before I see him. But every time I go hunting, I use all my recovery items. So I decided that I need help to control my diet. It's simple. What you do is go to a target point with me. But you have to guard me so that I won't need to use any recovery items. If I get hurt, I'll use a recovery item. The target point is the waterfall in the cave. Got it? So this is another escort quest where we have to take this NPC into caves. Now, the whole thing about her using recovery items, don't worry about that if you're doing this for the first time. It really doesn't matter if she uses them. It's just like a story thing. It doesn't fail the quest or anything if she uses them. It would be funny if it did, but it doesn't. But this also teaches us that the recovery items that we're using in PSO are not particularly good for our health. Cecil suddenly disappeared one day and she hasn't returned. It's been a week since she's disappeared. Why isn't she back? Perhaps something happened to her? Or perhaps she doesn't love me anymore? Oh no, I'm feeling faint just imagining that. She's very beautiful. She's in great shape and she's smart too. She's perfect for me. She is my goddess. Well, first of all, she was standing right here, which I guess it's meant to sort of imply that he doesn't even recognize her when she's like this. It was a different time. You know, we don't fat shame in games. We don't fat shame at all. But PSO is a very old game. It's a little bit awkward now and a little bit in bad taste, but here we are. Second of all, the only goddess is Red Ring Rico. According to Flower anyway. Is there anyone else to talk to? By which I mean NPCs that are not normally here. You are not normally here. If I had the chance, I'd go to Raggle and fight. But I can't. I'm a soldier, so I can't move without orders to do so. Okay. There is a subplot that runs through a lot of these quests, which I will do a video on at some point, which is to get Akiko's frying pan. There is a group in the game called the Weapons Group, and you basically have to find all the members, and some of them will appear in these quests, but I won't be able to do it in this run through. Hang on, Cecil. I understand. Yeah, so basically we're taking her into caves to essentially get her some exercise, but without using too many recovery items that put weight on. So again, just kind of a normal run through caves, honestly. With this one, though, we don't have to go as far as we did with Addicting Food, so it is mainly just to go to the waterfall room in Cave 2. But yeah, I think of all the quests in PSO, I think this is the one that's probably aged the poorest. I don't know if you could get away with this in a game now. Just trying to imagine the meeting where they thought of this quest. So what we're going to have is we're going to have a quest where you essentially have a character who gets fat shamed into losing weight. Everyone on board with that? Yep, sounds good. Yeah, it's one thing I've always liked with PSO, the fact that some of the quests are extremely serious, then you get these sort of really light-hearted ones. Or jokey ones, or, you know, in the case of this one, ones that haven't really aged well. But I love the variety of the quests, you know, they're not all super serious. I mean, the last quest we were literally looking for a cake. So although the actual main story of PSO is very, very serious and quite, you know, quite depressing, honestly, I think in the side story, it does explores a bit more of the lighter side. So as you get to the end of Cave 1, she's obviously struggling a little bit. I cannot go on. I think I'm going to collapse. But this is for Albert. This is for our future. I have to do this. So she's clearly finding it very, very difficult to get through this. Because she's out of shape, I guess, but she's clearly very committed to trying to get back into shape for her husband, or for her husband to be. I also think that it's kind of interesting to think of that even in this absolutely horrific time that they're living in PSO, with everything that's going on, there are still people getting married on Pioneer 2. So there are still people sort of trying to make the best of it and try to enjoy their life the best they can. Meanwhile, my character's fighting eldritch horrors and God knows what else. So once you get a little bit into Cave 2, again, you don't have to go very far into Caves for this. It's designed to get you to the waterfall room really quickly. Obviously, this is where Cecil wanted to come to. Waterfall. Thank you very much. I did it. I did it. I've got to go now. I have to weigh myself. So she's clearly very, very happy about that. So with that, we can go back to Pioneer 2. So have you been to see your bride-to-be yet? I will do my best so Cecil will not have to worry about me. As you know, Albert is an unreliable man. He didn't care about the money for the wedding. So she decided to earn the money by herself and went to Ragol. She soon earned enough money for the wedding. But at the same time, she realised she might have made a mistake. Did you know that Albert calls her my goddess? I do. So I mean, she can't go back with that kind of misconception. I'm scared. I heard what happened to Cecil. I must make sure that I take every item. So I think, is she insinuating that... It's kind of hard to tell what she means by that. Is she insinuating that she wants to take every item and get fat so she doesn't fall into the same situation that Cecil's fallen into? By, you know, finding someone unreliable, as she puts it. Or is she saying that she's wanting to take all the items from Cecil to prevent her from getting fat? I've got no idea. But hey, look at this. What a transformation. In the time it took her to literally pipe back to Pioneer 2, the weight has just fallen off her. I do find it really funny that she goes from how she was to about as thin as you can possibly make a 4-mile. I really want to say thank you. Look at me. Now I look like this. Finally, I can go back and see Albert. Please receive your money at the counter. Wait for me, Albert. Oh, please do not forget to take your money. Well, all the best for the future. He doesn't really seem like he is that reliable, so good luck with that. And that brings us to the end of the Lost Bride. So now that we've had two kind of light-hearted quests, funnily enough, both involving food, let's move on to something a little bit different for the last quest of this episode. So the next quest that we need to do is one called Secret Delivery. The client is someone called Simons, and it says, I want this package to be dropped off on Ragol Underground immediately. So, your taker. I'm Simons Olo. I work at the lab. Please deliver this box to Ragol as soon as possible. Sorry it's heavy. It contains, I can't tell you. I think you've heard about the mutants in the underground. This box will be used to study those animals. Got it? Anyway, we have no time to waste. Finish this job as soon as you can. What should I do if Dr. Montague discovers what I've done? So clearly this guy works with Dr. Montague and he's done something that goes against what the doctor would want. So we don't really know what he's actually got planned or anything, but he's clearly done something that would be at odds with Dr. Montague. Now, please hand it to YN0117 on floor B2 quickly. Just put it on YN0117 directly. It's easy. You can contribute to the mission. I mean the study. Got a secret device. You also get a 45-minute timer on this. I just don't understand scientists at all. How do they get so attached to their machines? Why are you still here? Don't you know how critical this missing... nothing. Forget about it. So there's something going on with the lab. We don't really know what exactly. Do you have any photon weapons? I can't believe it. Photons are out of date. Imagine the strongest weapon ever. So hot that it'd be cool. If you were a hunter, would you want one? Exclamation marks. You're clever indeed. Hey, listen to me. I'm actually a member of a secret organization known as Weapons. You really don't know? Are you really a hunter? A group of Freemasons seeking an ultimate weapon. Weapons. You're interested in it, aren't you? I am. Right. That's very natural. If you want, I can recommend you for membership. But know this, it's not easy to become a member of Weapons. You'll need to get final approval from our boss. And to meet our boss, you'll need approvals from the other members. We have 6 people now. Me, the boss, and 4 other members. You can meet our boss if you get approvals from the other 4 members. I don't know where they are or what they're doing now. We have a rule that we never interfere with each other. I'll admit you. Take this as evidence of my approval. Got Weapons emblem. It'll be an arduous task becoming a member of Weapons. Good luck. So that is the NPC you need to start the Akiko's Frying Pan quest. You then need to find all the other members of Weapons. He's left without doing any work again. Perhaps he's doing that stupid thing with those emblems. So I'm pretty sure that NPC, I think he's meant to be the guy from, if you remember the couple from The Value of Money, I think it's meant to be them. So he's clearly got a side gig with this Weapons organization that he's made. Well, he's not the boss of it, but he's a member of it anyway. So yeah, so if you want to do the Akiko's Frying Pan subquest, that is the first NPC you need to speak to. So with that said, we can actually get started with the quest now. So again, this takes us down to cave. And basically we just need to keep going through a cave until we find YN0117. If we look at our quest board, we have the secret device, which just says a device with an unknown purpose. It's very heavy. So it's not really giving anything away. And they haven't actually told us what YN0117 is. Now, don't worry too much about the time limit in this quest. It is quite a generous time limit. So what I'll do is I will cut to the next point in the quest that is important for the sake of the quest. So once you get to here, you actually run into Bernie. That seems to be an energy pack. EM05. Is that a product number? I have no idea. YN0117? I've never heard of it before. I didn't know there was another hunter who worked alone here. I realised that I'm just one of their tools. What am I doing here? I'm a professional, so I can't say, of course. I know what you mean. A transmission from a girl was suddenly lost. I'm trying to track it. So Bernie doesn't really give a whole lot away. He is very secretive. But he mentioned a girl again, so given what happened with Grand Squall, I'm going to assume that perhaps he's connected to maybe trying to find Rupika again. So as you come to this room, you can see that there is something happening over there. It looks like an NPC. but we don't really know exactly what's happening. So if we talk to this guy, wait mode, input command. So you can choose which one to go for here. So there's EMO5, which was the one that Bernie mentioned. We're looking for YN0117, so let's input that code. Transmission to YN0117 is not available now. Biostructure analysis is not available now. So if we talk to them again and choose EMO5, error, exclude mode. That lets him out and then he will actually start attacking you. Unlocking procedure for door lock A. So he actually unlocked one of the doors, so whether they're acting as a guard for whatever YN0117 is, we don't know. But you basically need to do that to unlock one of the doors. So once you get to this part here, you'll notice another NPC marker on the map. And when we get close, we can just about make out that it's a Rexiel, and it looks like Eleanor. Now we know that this guy that we took the job from is connected to the lab in somewhere. What we don't know is how he relates exactly to Montague. We assume that he works in the lab from what he told us. But we also know he's doing something potentially against Montague's wishes. And now we see that Eleanor's unconscious here. So something isn't adding up right. So if you look at the map at this part, you can see there are two NPCs that we can see. So obviously, well, we have Eleanor up here. Then we have two more. We've got one green NPC there and a yellow NPC here. So we're going to check this yellow NPC first. It's another one of these raycasts. Wait mode, input command. So again, we'll try YN0117. Transmission to YN0117 is not available now. Biostructure analysis is not available now. So same as the last one. So let's wake this guy up. He also gets an error and starts attacking us. To unlock the gate C, the switch in... I mean, there's a switch in here, so... If you remember where Eleanor was, there was a purple switch blocking her, so... Now what we will do is, while we're here, we will check the other NPC as well. So we have another raycast. Wait mode, input command. So again, we'll try the YN. Not available now. Biostructure analysis not available. So again, exactly the same. So again, we'll wake this one up. To unlock the gate B in... So basically these raycasts are there to open the gates for you, more or less. They're clearly like standing guard over these areas with the switches. So now we can move back to Eleanor. So what you see when you get here is there is another one of these enclosures that a lot of the raycasts have been in, but it's clear this one's not occupied. Now we know that Eleanor was just through here, so has Eleanor been in one of these? So we finally get to Eleanor. Sleep mode, input command. So let's input... Well, first of all, let's try the other one first. Let's try EMO5. Clear sleep mode. That doesn't do anything. So we'll try YN0117. Yes, Master. YN0117 is waiting for your... I can't move. Oh, excuse me, but I think that's mine. From Master Olo? Perfect. Would you mind inserting it into my back for me? So there's clearly some kind of motor or generator for Eleanor. My name is Eleanor. I'm an android who's serving Dr. Montague. I ran out of energy and was stuck here, so I'm guessing that thing we brought was like an energy pack. Oh, it's you. Take her. So she recognises you, obviously, because you've met her previously in the Magnitude of Metal quest. How are you and your mag? I'm glad it was you who came to help me again. Oh, I'm on duty. Well, I'm okay now. Thank you very much. Please tell Mr. Olo that I'll go back after I complete my mission. So with that, the timer ends. So it looks like Eleanor's already gone back. So with that, we'll go back to Pioneer 2. We'll just talk to weapons guy again in case he's got anything else to say. The ultimate weapon. When can I see such a wonderful thing? So you come back and there's actually no sign of Eleanor. And if you look, she's not actually on Pioneer 2 anywhere either. So head back in, we'll talk to all the soldiers and everything. Good job. Now we can proceed with the research. Was it completed? Thank you. Simons will tell you about the reward. Did you make it in time? Excellent. Thank you, you saved my life. I won't get scolded now. Thank you very much. Please visit the guild county for your reward. It's clear that he's done something that maybe Montague wasn't a fan of, and he's basically hired you to cover his tracks. Now, because obviously we had to get an energy pack to Eleanor, maybe it was something that he's done with Eleanor and she's run out of power while on the mission for him. And then he's panicked and called the Hunters Guild to try and get someone to deliver the energy pack to her so that he can cover his tracks so Montague doesn't find out. That's kind of the impression I get from this. Whether that's true, I'm not sure. It doesn't really go into it. But that's the impression I get from how particularly this guy acts. So we still don't know a whole lot about Eleanor either. We just know that she works with Dr. Montague and works with the lab. We don't really know anything about what she actually does on Pioneer, whether she's just a hunter or whether there's more to her. We don't really know much else about her at the moment. And the same for Dr. Montague as well. We will find out more about them as we progress through the side story though. So with that one, we'll end this video there. So the next episode of these side stories, we'll do the next few cave quests, and we may get onto mines possibly. I think there's a few cave quests though, so it'll probably just be caves, I imagine. As always, if you're enjoying the videos, please consider liking, subscribing, or joining as a member on YouTube. You can also follow or sub over on Twitch at Section Skyline, where I do streams twice a week. I do stream on YouTube as well simultaneously. You can also follow me on X at Section Skyline. And we do have a Discord you can join as well, where we do play Phantasy Star games and a few other games like Monster Hunter off stream as well. So yeah, feel free to join us there, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.